Okay, so this is what we do. Boom. Click it again, go down to 2. Bam.
Well, you know, I did notice that other show, when I had it on link 1, it probably only let me watch not even a whole episode. And then when we did it back and did link 2,
right,
it didn't mess up anymore.
Okay. Oh, I was listening about that Tekashi 6ix9ine. Give me 1 second before we watch this. Let me listen to what they say right here. Listen to what they say.
To the people in the courtroom, the judge tells the jury to just disregard what he said. Now a wiretap call with Mellow Murder reviewing 6ix9ine's interview on Power 105, where he said Treyway was a fraud. He must be on drugs. You're going to go on social media with it. I feel kind of depressed. Wiretap call continues and it says, "We made you who you was so you could help us with our situation. We gave you life. You wouldn't be shit without Trey." Now this is a report that was reported right when 6ix9ine and everybody else got locked up. Because if you guys
Scruffy,
remember,
what up, man?
6ix9ine on Breakfast Club,
What's up, Scruff?
all of Treyway, they took huge offense to that, especially Mel Murda. Then there was a wiretap call. Basically, Mel Murda said, you know what, let's get rid of this guy for disrespecting us. Shoddy, though, it was never confirmed that Shoddy was actually willing to do something to 6ix9ine. It was just Mel Murda and some other Treyway members. So that's what this wiretap call is referring to. Then AUSA Longyear asks, have you heard of the term dry snitching? 6ix9ine responds saying, it's a term in the street, snitching without snitching. It's like, and then the judge comes in and interrupts and it says, I don't think we need to hear any more on this answer, but what was said is received. The judge has been basically tired of 6ix9ine constantly elaborating what he's saying and getting other people involved that don't need to be involved in his testimony. So that's why he interrupted him. Continuing on, this is where 6ix9ine decides to throw another rapper under the bus. They ask him, who is Jim Jones? Jokingly enough, he says he's a retired rapper when he isn't. That was the joke that everybody was laughing at. And then they ask him, is he a member of 9 Trey? He says yes. And a lot of people are wondering, why the hell did Jim Jones get brought up in this whole thing? Well, Jim Jones's phone call to someone was wiretapped. And they went over the phone call in the courtroom. The phone call went something like this. Every time you look at it on YouTube or Rollstar, you see Shoddy with this shit. He didn't get enough money for that. Now his show's all canceled. He ain't a gang member no more. TMZ want to talk to this guy. I need to be on no TMZ. You better stalk that shorty. No security gonna work for him. He's gonna have to stay in your house. Security of New York can't run around with guns, right? Unless they're ex-cops. This is Jim Jones talking, mind you. 6ix9ine then is perched in the witness chair listening to this wiretapped call. It continues with Jim Jones saying, you ain't never put no work in, so who the fuck are you? We made that little guy. We can break that little guy. We're gonna paralyze him. While 6ix9ine was listening to this, he leans his chin on his palms and slouches. Then they ask, now you joined the Bloods specifically to advance your music career, correct? He says correct. You knew that that was a way to gain attention. He said no. You had never seen anybody join the Bloods and advance their music career before? He said not that I recall. They say you knew Cardi B was a Blood, right? He says correct. You knew Cardi B had music videos with Blood members in the background of her, right? He said correct. You knew that before you started making these songs, right? No, I didn't pay attention. You didn't know who Cardi B was before you joined the gang. They tried to object these questions, but it got overruled by the judge in the court. So 6ix9ine continued. He said, I knew who she was. I didn't pay attention to her at the time. You knew she was successful? He says correct. I saw that the media was saying that 6ix9ine testified against Cardi B and said that Cardi B is a 9 Trey Blood member. This is false. As you can see by the transcript, it says 6ix9ine only called her a Blood, and her being a Blood is public knowledge. She's admitted it. She's told in interviews various times that she's a Blood or she used to be one. So people running with this narrative that 6ix9ine snitched on her and that, you know, she's a 9 Trey Blood is all false. The cross-examiners were just trying to see if 6ix9ine's career was blueprinted from Cardi B's career. That's all. Now AUSA Longyear asked 6ix9ine about his cooperation agreement. He told the government he brokered a 1 kilo of heroin deal in Bushwick around August of 2017, also sold heroin and marijuana in 2015, got 5 days of community service. 6ix9ine said, I punched a guy in Times Square with a shotty, and in Houston, I grabbed a fan by his jacket. The case is still pending, I think. But now he's just basically testifying everything that he's done. They continue and ask, Mr. Hernandez, have you been sentenced? He says no. What is the maximum sentence you face? He says life. What is your understanding of a 5K letter? He says it has the good, bad, and the ugly about me. The judge gets it and can go under the mandatory minimum, like time served. 6ix9ine then continues and says, without a 5K1 letter, the minimum I could serve would be 47 years. Government, no further questions. And this is where officially 6ix9ine ends his testimony. And now the lawyers that are trying to protect the ones that are getting prosecuted are going to cross-examine 6ix9ine, ask him a bunch of questions, and verify what he's saying. The first question on cross-examination, they ask, you are testifying to get the 5K letter or to help the government? 6ix9ine says a little bit of both. Now Nuke Mac's lawyer, Alex Huot, is emphasizing that 6ix9ine's attempted murder was with Shotty, not with his client. He said, you wanted to take part, right? 6ix9ine says, right. Cross-examined question asks, after the robbery in Times Square, where you videotaped all the guns in the lobby, Mel Murder and them, Shotty threw the gun in your lap, and you said you're too famous to hold a gun. 6ix9ine said, no, I'm too famous to get out the car with a gun. They ask another question, what does trolling mean to you? 6ix9ine says, showing a little bit of my personality. I wasn't trolling, I made a video saying, fuck Chief Keef. Then they ask, then you ordered a shooting. He says, correct. So as you can tell, 6ix9ine is not denying anything that he's done wrong. He's pleaded guilty to everything because he's trying to go home. Then they ask, if you get time served, you'd get out at the beginning of next year, correct? 6ix9ine says, correct. And this is what I've been saying in my previous videos. He's going to get out in January of 2020. They continue the cross-examination and they say, you're not being prosecuted for shooting a gun.
That's 3 months from now, man. About how he's going to jail for fucking 15, 20 years and for life. The motherfucker went to jail for a year and a half and getting out.
Well, not necessarily.
So you were mocking them for ducking when fired on. He says, correct. You think it is surprising that someone ducks when a gun is fired at them? He pauses and he says, no, not surprising. Did you say I've had so many Instagrams, bro? I'm the king of getting...
Give me 1 second, guys.
Everyone is sitting in front of Lamborghinis and Ferraris and trying to get you to attend a free Amazon train.
What up, Daddy? How you doing, man?
Sat in front of Taylor's Volkswagen, and now I'm going to tell you guys how...
It's a nice Volkswagen.
It's a nice car. I'm going to...
My Instagram's deleted. 6ix9ine says, was that an interview? I have no recollection of saying that. They said, did you ever do a podcast with Adam 22? Can I show you a transcript? He shows him. The questions are said, have you had 11 Instagram accounts? He says less than that. Were some deleted? Yes. Were you ever told why? No. Did you ever say, I'm just a troll who knows how to rap? Another transcript, and this is from Angie Martinez's interview that 6ix9ine did. They continue on and ask, you still have a lot of fans? He says, I hope so, because now he's probably questioning after he's snitching if he's still going to have fans.
No.
They continue it and say, you put out a record after you were in jail, dummy boy. He says, yes. Were you popular in jail? Objection. They try to object it. The judge says sustained, irrelevant, which means it didn't matter. Did you sign autographs for guards? He says not guards, a nurse. Then they ask, jail is still lonely for you? He says, what do you mean lonely? Yes, jail is really lonely. Let's talk about the Mets game with Shotty and Jorge. Somebody told Shotty that Roe had been robbed. He says correct. Judge Engelmeyer gives 6ix9ine a comfort break. Now Nuke Mike's lawyer is cross-examining 6ix9ine about Gummo. How many 9-tray hand singles are in it? You wanted it perfect, right? He said, I want all my music to be perfect. Do you have any idea how many people are members of the Bloods? He says hundreds of thousands. How about 9-tray? I don't know, he says, I'm not a statistic. The kid whose jacket you grabbed in Houston, afterward he took a photo with him, with both of you making the 9-tray sign. He asks, can you show me the photo? Mac's lawyer, Huot, I don't think I have that one with me. The cross-examination continues and they cut to the chase to ask about his Instagram post. Someone, please snatch my chain for my project so I can get more publicity. They asked, did you post this prior to the carjacking? Did you recall publishing a video pretending you were dead? Can you show me? 6ix9ine says. For now, they showed a private video of it. 6ix9ine says he doesn't remember uploading the video, but he does remember being filmed in that position, which is funny as hell because he's basically saying, I don't remember it, but I do remember playing dead. Then they wanted the video in evidence, but the government objects to the commentary that accompanies it. They continue and say, part of the role of my client, Anthony Ellison, was to collect money for you, correct? 6ix9ine says, correct. Denies memory of Harv collecting for him at a strip club. Kanek then asks, in a month after Gummo, how much money did you make? He says, like 60,000. So Treyway Entertainment was a legitimate corporation. 6ix9ine says, I would not say so. I didn't see no paperwork. Then they asked, didn't you just say Shoddy and the others had tried? And then 6ix9ine says, tried. You could try a three-pointer and not make it. Then they asked before Gummo, what was your genre of music? He says, like rockish rap. They said, did you tell others to suck your body part? As you guys remember, 6ix9ine would always say, suck my dick, everywhere in every video. He says, correct. But he ended up pondering it, so they said, but you just said you had to ponder it. And then 6ix9ine says, I don't know what ponder means, so I don't know if 6ix9ine is just trolling in the courtroom or if he's legitimately serious. Then they ask, do you ever recall challenging Trippie Redd to a fight? He says no. They ask Casanova. He says no. Then they ask, what about when Snow followed you from the T-Mobile store? Did you call Harv? He says correct, but Mel Murder came first. But then Harv came? He says correct. And then in the LA airport, Harv had been promoted to be my road manager. And around the Super Bowl and around the All-Star game, people bothered you. Some gang members were mad you didn't check in. And Harv squashed that situation. 6ix9ine says, no, it was me, Harv, his girlfriend, and a light-skinned chick taller than me. I believe she has a daughter or something. They continue and ask, wasn't Harv mad at Shoddy for getting you banned from places like Barclays Center? He says no. But then you were one of the hottest artists in the country. 6ix9ine corrects him and says, no, in the world. And then he says, and you were proud of that? He says, yeah, it's something to be proud of. Then he asks, you didn't tell people that you knew what the media wanted? Not that comes to my memory, no. On July 21st, 2018, you were just on the verge of releasing a song. You were kidnapped and robbed on the same day. He says, no. What day did it happen? July 22nd. It was like 5 a.m. So this allegedly happened hours before the release, correct? He says, correct. So when they supposedly robbed you, Harv and Shah were not wearing masks, right? Right, no masks. In fact, according to you, Jorge went out and spoke with them, who struck the car you were in. Yes. Did you see a gun? Yes, almost immediately. You can drive, right? 6ix9ine says, I don't have a driver's license. You have driven many times, a handful of times. What's a handful? Like 6 times, 2 handfuls. So you were repeatedly hit by Shah? Yes, to the face and nose a lot. How many times? Like 10? Like that. For how long? For 5 to 20 seconds. Shah's a big guy? Bigger than me. Do you recall proofer sessions with the prosecutors? Yes. Did you tell them you got punched in the face and nose? Then they take a quick break and come back. Then they ask, they didn't come after you with the car, did they? He says, correct. And a car just happened to be there, right? Correct. Yesterday you said you ordered the guy to drive. No, I said, drive the fucking car. Now Kanek asks 6ix9ine if he ever looked at his jewelry and his daughter's Pampers.
Hi, I'm
Damn.
Max Moore with the Motley Fool.
By the way, anybody that's watching the stream, we are watching. I'm listening. What up, KP? I'm listening to the Tekashi 6ix9ine testimony.
It's a beautiful place.
The transcripts right now. I'll be here to fight in a minute.
These islands are as
bag before giving it the shot. No, he did not. It says it was worth $360,000. Rolex jigsaw chain, 4 rings. How do you know how much it costs? 6ix9ine asks, do we have it? Kanek asks, do you have the items insured? No. How much did you tell Angie Martinez they were worth? $1 million? Correct. That wasn't the only thing you lied to Angie Martinez about, right? Right. I lied about jumping out the car. How did you get to be on Angie Martinez's show? She asked me previous to the robbery. In the interview, you said you're the fastest man alive and you could make a movie. I don't recall saying that. Kanek asks 6ix9ine, do you remember telling Angie Martinez I can make a movie out of this and it's better than NWA?
Yes.
He said, I said more than that. Then the judge jumps in and says, just answer the question. Kanek, asks, with Angie Martinez, you embellish things. 6ix9ine says, I don't know what embellish means. Kanik, you told Angie your movie could have been better than NWA, right? Yes. You were just driving to Park Slope area without knowing where. 6ix9ine is done, meaning off the stand. Now he just has to wait, hope to get the 5K1 cooperator's letter. So 6ix9ine is officially done testifying and officially done being cross-examined. And if he gets the 5K1 cooperator's letter like he hopes to, he will be out in January of 2020. Now they're going to ask other witnesses during the assault and robbery what happened. The first person up is NYPD Officer LeBron from 79th Precinct. He's saying that Mr. Hernandez came in bleeding from the face, said he got hit with a hard object. Officer LeBron describes 6ix9ine's FaceTime call with a female who said, Danny, how are you? He said he was okay, asked where driver Jorge Rivera was. Then Officer LeBron accompanied Mr. Hernandez to the ambulance to Kings County Hospital, hearing him say, I thought I was going to die. I thought I was never going to see my daughter again. Now omnipresent CJA defense lawyer Calvin Scholar starts cross-examination of Officer LeBron. Then they bring in Jorge Rivera. That's the guy who is driving 6ix9ine when this incident happened. They ask about Jorge Rivera's history. He says he's from Mexico, came to Brooklyn via North Carolina. At first he worked in a tire shop until February 2018, then became the driver for a car service. He met 6ix9ine because someone hired him to drive them to a video shoot. Then AUSA Longyear asked, prior to this day, have you ever heard of Daniel Hernandez or Tekashi 6ix9ine? He says no. Have you ever heard of the music? He says no. Now Rivera identifies Shotty as 6ix9ine's manager, and then they ask, and what is Ro's relations with Mr. Hernandez? He says they were friends, they were together a good amount. After the day he was kidnapped, quite a bit. And this is where the trial ended for the day. The trial is going to continue with Jorge testifying his side of the story, and it's going to continue on Monday. Now that 6ix9ine's testimony is done, what do you guys think? Do you guys think 6ix9ine is actually going to get time served and is actually going to get out in January 2020? I personally think he's going to. He's going to be out in January 2020. He might even get out in December of 2019 because they don't like to give public knowledge of when a celebrity gets out of prison. Usually it's swayed a month earlier or something like that, a couple weeks earlier, a couple days earlier, so that, you know, the whole media isn't out there when he gets out. That happened with Lil Wayne. It's happening with various celebrities. And when he does get out, are you still going to bump his music? I know I've asked this a lot, but based off his testimony, he might have changed your mind. Who knows? I'll keep my eyes focused on what's going on with this case and with 6ix9ine because I'm working on a documentary revolving around 6ix9ine's career, his rise, his fall, everything. It's going to be crazy. I'm just piling up information and researching everything that I can. And I'm probably going to release it in January 2020 when 6ix9ine gets out. With that being said, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com/diversementality. For just $1 a month or more, you can help support this channel further. A link is in the description below. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. I do videos like this daily on hip-hop news. Much more, so definitely subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at QuakeGW. Like us on Facebook. See you guys in the next one.
But if he gets that 5K letter,
he's in big trouble.
If he gets that 5K letter, that means that they agreed with all his snitching and are giving him what he wants. So they might try to put him somewhere else.
He's not going to leave New York. I doubt that very seriously. Number one, Tekashi 6ix9ine is not, once he gets out, he is not going to hide from the public. And the reason why is because if you listen to his comment about him saying that he still hopes that he has fans, that's number one. And that they asked him about, oh yeah, you were the best in the United States, and he said, I'm the best in the world. So basically means like his mentality hasn't changed as far as him wanting to get out there and be the best. So if his mentality still has if he still has a mentality, he's gonna snitch, they're gonna let him out, and he's gonna hope that he doesn't get shot. He's gonna gamble He's going to gamble and hope that, and I think that a year and a half is too motherfucking short to be snitching on motherfucking Bloods. Your ass going to be dead in 3 years. They going to kill him in 3 years.
I mean, you know, it's not even just Treyway or whatever. You snitched on the Bloods.
You snitched on the Bloods. You know what I'm saying? So.
And then you snitched, period.
Yeah, KP said he'll be killed. You know, the thing about Tekashi 6ix9ine is he's got a choice. He could sit in jail and face 10, 15, 20 years and not be known as a snitch. And then in jail, he might get beat up and might get killed in jail.
It's already too late. He's not being known as a snitch.
Or he didn't have to make that testimony. And then if he didn't make that testimony, then his ass would have been in jail for 10, 15 years. Okay? And he would have been known as not snitching.
Yeah.
Okay? So when he got out, he wouldn't have to worry about the Bloods like that. But now, you on testimony snitching on the Bloods. And you snitching on one of the biggest, most powerful fucking gangs out there. And even if the Bloods from New York don't want to come and get you, you got Bloods all over the country that'll come in from out of town to come and get you.
Different.
You know, so he's got
his native country.
So he's got a real big choice. You know, stay in jail and be a non-snitcher and stay in jail, or snitch and get out and take a chance and hope that your career. The bad thing about Tekashi is in the public limelight when he gets out. Within a couple of years, he'll be making music in the studio. And I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to get shot just like my man from fucking DMC, Run DMC, the DJ. You know what I mean? The DJ was making music in New York, and they went in there and popped his ass. You know, I put this on everything, KP. That's what's going to wind up happening to Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's a sad situation that he put himself in there, but look, when your head gets blown up and you make a comment to the judge that you weren't the best in the United States, you were the best in the world, that means that your mentality is still, I was the best. And what I was doing was making me successful. All that Instagram shit was making him successful. All that Twitter shit was making him successful. But on the other hand, that was his downfall. Recording shit. Making copies of shit. Who does that? And you make copies and you do and talk about killing people and putting hits on people and you make recordings and save them and have them on different phones and I don't get that, man. I don't get that. And then you post it on Twitter. You know, you post it on Instagram and, you know, all that shit right there. That's the dumbest thing that you could do. That's the most dumbest thing that you can do. But I'm going to be honest with you. Tekashi 6ix9ine, his mentality hasn't changed. His mentality has not changed. In my opinion, Tekashi 6ix9ine thinks that he's going to get out and come out and make music. And he's going to promote Gumbo. His last album, that just when he went in jail, he'd sold 60,000 copies. They had said, "How much did you make on Gumbo?" The last album that you made. He said like 60,000. There was probably no promotions on it, and he still made 60,000 off of it. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. When he gets out, his mentality is going to get him killed. I don't know if you've ever saw the New York radio station, The Breakfast Club. He was on The Breakfast Club 3 days before he got arrested. 3 days. And on The Breakfast Club, he had made a statement saying that I can't be touched. I'm too quick. I'm too good. I can't believe that, man. He's got that mentality. You ain't too good and you ain't too quick. And I think Charlemagne had mentioned something like, hey, man, you ain't too good, man. You can be touched. You know, it's just, I don't know. All I could say is Tekashi 6ix9ine, You got to ask yourself, do you want to spend 15, 20 years in prison and be known as a non-snitcher? Or do you want to get out and be able to fucking be with your daughter and take a chance on getting killed? But then you take a chance on getting killed in prison too. In all reality, don't get it twisted. Don't fucking get it twisted that he's in jail and there's bloods in jail. So in all reality, the chances of him getting waxed in jail would be a lot easier for him to get waxed in jail than it is for him to get waxed on the outside.
Well,
like it would be.
He's been PC the entire time.
It would be right. It would be probably a 90% chance over a course of 5-6 years that he would get waxed. 100%, 90%. But out in the public, there's probably a 50 to 60% chance that he'll get waxed out in the public in the next 5 years. You understand? But if he was in prison, that would almost be a lock for the fucking bloods out there saying, we're coming to get you. And you don't worry about when we're coming to get you, but it's going to happen. And when it happens in prison, it's done. You're done. They put you on a fucking stretcher. They come in, you get shanked. They shank you 5 or 6 times, guys that are doing life, bloods that are doing life that don't care. You know what I mean? Oh, you want me to do this? Please let me do it. I'll do it. I'll raise my hand to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. You know, KP said that his daughter's going to feel the repercussions. I don't know. I don't think 10 years down the line that his daughter's going to feel the repercussions of him snitching. I don't think so. Because I think that a lot of times, time heals all wounds. You know, Snoop was known as a snitch for a second. You know, like when Snoop was in fucking trouble, and I'm not going to say Snoop snitched, but when Snoop was going through his murder trial, you know, I want to say that Snoop had mentioned some names, you know. But then on the other hand, Snoop is making videos talk about stop snitching. But I could be 100% wrong when I say that.
I think you're wrong.
Snoop has always said don't snitch, but Snoop was going down for murder, and I remember Snoop saying somebody's name. Justin, what up? We're talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine and his testimony that he just did in the past week. He's a young guy, man. He's a young guy. He don't want to go and spend the rest of his life in jail. I mean, I know that he realizes. I don't know if you realize what the fuck, unless you've been shot or unless you've been 1 inch from your life. I don't know if you really realize what the fuck. You know, I don't think Tekashi 6ix9ine has been. Yeah, he said he got beat up. He thought he was going to die. Something about him being tied up in a car, making him go to his house and get jewelry. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. You know, I know that New York. I know that New York is a tough place. And I just wonder if Tekashi knows the value of life. That's what I want to know. I want to know if he really felt like he was 1 fucking foot from death. You know, I think that's a very, very big question. If he felt death before, then I don't think that he's scared. I don't think that he's scared to either stay in jail or scared to fucking go out and deal with life. To be all honest with you, if they let me out, I'm not saying that I would snitch, but that's a big fucking 15, 20 years of your life versus getting out in a year and a half. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. Maybe if I really didn't like them motherfuckers, you know, I'd say fuck them motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck. Come and get me. You know what I mean? If I really didn't like them. You know, come and get me, motherfuckers. I'm snitching on you. I'm getting out this bitch. I'm not standing here for you motherfuckers. I'm not standing here so I could have a name because I spent 20 years of my life because So now you can call me a non-snitcher when I could be getting pussy in a year and a half and spend time with my family and make music, and you call me a snitch. Okay. I just build my credibility back up. I don't know. In the meantime, I just hope I don't get killed in the process. I don't know. Tekashi set a lot of stuff up, but they wanted Tekashi's jewelry. They told Tekashi to go, wow. Wow. They told Tekashi, wow, look at that fucking shit. They told Tekashi to drive to his house to pick up the jewelry from his house. So you got to do some research on Tekashi 6ix9ine there, Justin, before you ask me a bunch of questions. Because he's got a lot that's involved with him. A lot. You know, he did a lot of stupid shit, you know, and I think he got caught up. I think he got caught up. That's what I think. I think that for some reason he thought that his fame, I don't know what it is. Maybe he thought that his fame was going to fucking pull it out for him. So needless to say, Tekashi 6ix9ine is probably going to get out in January. And I want to say he only spent about a year and a half. If he gets out in January, you know, KP, a lot of people have a difference of opinions about his music. People can say that his music is garbage. And KP, I may not like his music. You may not like his music. But he was one of the top guys, the top 2 or 3 guys in New York. And, you know, I mean, he was one of the top, what was it, Cardi B and fucking Drake? You know what I mean? I mean, he was one of the top 2, even though he didn't have a big deal like Drake and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. He was putting up numbers. He was putting up big internet numbers. Big internet numbers. So as much as we may not have liked his music, there were people that liked his music. You know what I mean? There were people that liked his music and gave him all those numbers. You know? So we could say he was trash if we want to because we don't like his music. We could say he's trash, but when the guy puts up numbers like that and he's ranked number 2 in New York, New York is a big place. And when it comes to all the music across the country, you got California, Atlanta, St. Louis. Nelly's from St. Louis. You got T.I. from Atlanta and all them brothers from Atlanta. You know what I mean? Then you got New York. You got California. You don't hear about anybody. You don't hear any rappers coming from any other place, any other places besides, you know, Master P from New Orleans. You know, but you talk about Atlanta, St. Louis, New York, and motherfucking California. You know, those are where the artists are, and those are where the artists are coming out of. So, when Tekashi is at the fucking top 2 or 3 in New York, and he ain't even got a deal like that, I don't know, man. Justin, let me see if I sub to you. I'm almost positive I'm sub to you.
This has been one of the most highly anticipated.
I'm not disagreeing with your opinion. I think there's a lot of rappers out there that make music to make money. You know what I say?
Inside control.
So the distance closes here, they will clincher. Immediately shoots for the leg.
take the back, I think. Working from full guard. Good punch. Hard ground and pound elbow. He's got him stacked here. He's got to be careful as he has him stacked here, though. He doesn't get trapped into a triangle.
Now he's got full guard.
He's got one leg in between them, so he's in half guard here. He postures into place.
Oh, so an interesting decision there as he decides to stand up and relinquish the dominant position. And busy as he looks to improve position here.
That's a good shot from the bottom. Nicely executed sweep, winds up in guard. Oh, there's a good shot from the bottom. Trying to pass from half guard into side control, can't make it. Oh, he gets reversed. He got tagged there. Beautifully executed sweep. Reversal and into full guard. Half guard is still an excellent position for the top man to do some ground and pound. Tags him. In half guard.
Right hand on point.
Look at this.
And he's out.
Excellent movement on the ground here. Constantly moving, constantly staying busy. Elbow him in the face.
All right, 45 seconds now to go in the round.
And now he's in side control.
30 seconds to go.
Excellent movement on the ground here. Always trying to better his position.
Looks like he's got the over-under here, Joe.
Oh, now he's got double underhooks here.
Knee to the body here in the clinch, Joe. 4 rounds for the end of round one.
Yeah, you know, I never heard of Nipsey Hussle either. That's the funny thing. And I'm from California.
Action from this round. Here's a nasty ground. That was some amazing.
All right, here we go with round two. And they clinch. Another shot lands upstairs.
Tries for a low single.
Oh, and he lands another takedown there. He's already landed several.
Oh, look at this. He's got that reverse triangle locked up tight. Wants to secure that ankle underneath his knee. He's got it.
And this might just be a matter of time.
And he gets out. Wow, that was a deep choke. He's working from full mount. Look at this. He's out of it. Big shot from the bottom. Nicely done reversal. Caught him with a punch. Excellent sweep. Winds up in guard. Grabs a hold of the wrist. Pins it down from here. He's looking for the Kimura. He wants to wrap his arm around the back of his opponent's elbow and clasp his wrist together. He popped out of the Kimura. Oh, beautiful, beautiful right hand by the champion. Nice sweep here. He's got half guard. Tries to get out of full guard and into half, but doesn't make it.
Landed that punch flush.
Excellent movement here on the ground.
Hello, Moto.
Look at that, scoops.
Changes his stance. You'll see a lot of this from this fighter. Oh,
He's hanging on here. He is
5 seconds remain in the round. That hammer fist attempt is blown. And plenty of time with which to work. 30 seconds to go in the round. Switches back to southpaw now. Oh, he just missed with that straight left hand, Joe. All right, so that's been the story in this one as he secures yet another takedown. And even though the opposition is doing a pretty nice job getting back to his feet quickly, he doesn't stay there for very long, continuing to get planted on his back.
And here we see some beautiful submission offense here. Let's take a look at that again. Let's see it one more time.
Ariane Celeste in the building as usual. Here we go, third round of this championship fight.
Nice takedown, very nice.
All right, so he just decides to get up here, Joe. Now he's got the Muay Thai plug. Goes upstairs for an elbow.
Oh, big knee, he's hurt.
Well, he has landed some good shots.
Ah, look at that takedown, man.
Can we show you the total strikes?
He's got full, oh, no, half guard. Postures up here. He's in half guard here with his opponent pressed up against the cage. Excellent movement and transitions here on the ground. Staying
For an
busy.
arm bar now.
He's got that arm locked up. Lost it totally. Completely lost the position.
Just over 3 minutes to go now.
He's back up to his feet. One overhook, one underhook.
Working on a single leg here.
He's doing a great job of moving and transitioning here on the ground. Good shot to the body. Tying up in the clinch here. Got both hooks now. And pummels under and out of double underhooks. And he transitions to his back.
He's got double underhooks, Joe.
Oh, beautiful takedown. Back up again.
Switching stances here. Another shot.
Got it again. Back to over under control.
Gets up again here, but hurting. There he goes, moves to his back again.
Whoa! Oh, he threw him right into an armbar! Phenomenal! There's more pressure on that arm. Any second, he may have to tap. And he's free. That was a deep armbar. This is where those knees to the body can come and play. Good combination so far from both men.
All right, so he's gone to the well for the takedown several times here tonight, and perhaps another takedown attempt is imminent. He connects with the punch. Big left hand there inside. Oh, slip.
You laggy fucking piece of shit.
Rounds in the can, we're headed to the championship rounds. We have arrived at the 4th round fight scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. All right, 4th round is underway. Oh!
Half guard here. Oh, and he's got a submission locked up. dropped out of the triangle. Half guard now. Excellent posture.
Oh, so an interesting decision there as he decides to stand up and relinquish the dominant position.
Good shot.
Change it to the southpaw stance now, Joe. Inside leg kick lands and immediately a mark on his opponent. All right, so another strike to the body there, and Joe, we've seen in the later stages of this fight, not only an uptick.
Oh, that's some wrestling right there.
Back to the feet now. Oh, he got everything behind that kick.
Oh, very nice.
Another takedown attempt here. Now he goes for the single leg. Oh, he gets the takedown. Could ill afford that. And busy as he looks to improve position here.
Hip escape. And he's out of the full mount. Nicely done. He's landing some serious ground and pound strikes here.
Man, look at the size of that bruising on his body. Oh.
He's back up again.
Well, he keeps going back to the well with that left hand just out of range.
Dropping down, looking for a single.
Wow, look at that takedown, man. Oh, he's going for a choke here. This could be tough. Nicely done.
Back up to his feet again.
Oh, he's really starting to apply pressure on his opponent here. Different approach here as well.
Oh, that one dropped him. Total domination. Here's the end.
If I lose this next fight, I'm done. I'm gonna log off. Go play Ghost Recon. If I lose this next fight, I'm done. Forewarning. It's not a rage quit. It's I've already lost 3 or 4 fights in a row, and I'm not gonna keep losing fights because I really don't even want to play. Really don't even want to play. Look at this shit. Guy beat me 21 times. 21 times. This is it. I'm done.
He will have a 2-inch reach advantage. All right, now for the particular.
Guy beat me 21 fucking times. You know, I can't sit here and play. To be honest with you, I can't sit here and play a game where I don't have no. I'm not into it. You guys can see I'm not into it. You know, I'm not fired up. I'm not into it. I'm not into the game. Just not into it. I haven't been into it for 2 days. You know what I mean? I got other shit on my mind. Speaking of other shit.
Fight now to the southpaw stance.
Hello, Moto.
Right here, shot is blocked.
He's keeping his head protected here. Excellent blocking.
Hello, Moto.
And the fighters engage in the clinch here right out of the chute. Switching stances here.
right hand. Good exchanges from both fighters. Oh, what the? This could be it. Big shots. Body kick, look at that.
Throwing that jab, no good.
God damn it. All right, guys, I'm out. Fuck this game. Ghost Recon, here I come. Fuck this game.